Hey everyone, been a while since I've done a Steven Universe video, huh? As you can see by the title, we're ranking Steven Universe fusions. Before I begin, I have a couple of ground rules. First, I'm not including same gem fusions, so fusions that are that are combined of the same type of gem. So the Topaz fusion, for example, or even Mega Pearl. Sorry, but they're just bigger versions of the gems that they fuse from. So I just don't think that's fair. And also, I'm not including the cluster or any of the mini clusters because they're forced fusions, so I don't think they really count for the purposes of the list. And also, as you can see, I'm putting Garnet in her own tier because I don't really think it's really fair to include her, to be honest. Because, sure, she's a fusion, and the best fusion, but also saying that she's the best fusion is like saying Pikachu's the best Pokemon, so I just don't really think that counts that much. And also, I'm not including Steven. Technically, Steven is a fusion, but also he's not really. So yeah. But yeah, Garnet's really cool. Obviously, she's like the main fusion and the only main crystal gem that has her shit together, so yeah. So, I just wanted to say a couple things about Garnet first. But anyway, let's get into it. First off, we have Sunstone. I do not care what anyone says, right? Sunstone is freaking ugly. Like, generally one of the worst designed gems we've ever had in the show. I'm not even kidding. She's the fusion of Garnet and Steven, and technically Ruby and Sapphire. So, yeah. I understand why her arms look like this, because she's got Steven's arms on the top and then Garnet's arms on the back. But what is this head? I get her name is Sunstone, but you took it a bit too literal there. So, I have no doubt that if these actually did exist on Homeworld, they'd be shattered instantly. God. Really, like, what were you thinking there? Also, we have Bluebird Azurite. So she's a fusion of Aquamarine and Eyeball. But she's like a different kind of fusion because she only works because of both their hatred for Steven. So yeah, that's quite funny. Also, I just want to say, as you can see, all fusions have multiple body parts. She's got 4 legs. So yeah, she's also one of the only fusions that has 1 eye. They're including Mega Pearl as well, but she doesn't count for this video. Anyway, next we have Malachite. Now, if you thought Bluebird was a fusion out of hatred, Malachite, ooh boy. A lot of people have a problem with Malachite though, me included, because so I don't think this was intentional. I really don't. But see, Malachite was meant to be a toxic relationship because every fusion represents different relationships. And Rebecca Sugar wrote it so Lapis was because she's a fusion of Lapis and Jasper. So she wrote it so Lapis is an abuse victim. But when you watch it, you start to realize that Lapis was the abuser and Jasper was the victim. Because sure, Jasper's the one that had the idea to fuse, but she also asked for consent, and Lapis gave her consent and used that to trick her and trap her in the ocean. So, yeah. I don't think that was intentional, but I also kind of think you muddled up there with who the victim was. Anyway, next we have Crazy Lace. A lot of people don't know she's a fusion, but as you can see, she has her eye gem and her nose gem. But I hate her color palette so much. It is so overwhelming. I don't know what to look at. Like, I know she's a corrupted fusion, and corrupted gems have, like, patches all over them, you know, because they're corrupted, but what is this color palette? It is actually so overwhelming and actually vile. I don't like it. Way too many colors. It's impressive to animate, I'm sure, but no, I don't like it. Sorry. Anyway, moving on, we have Lemon Jade. Okay, this is one of the funniest fusions because, like, it was completely out of nowhere. Like, it was foreshadowed because in this episode, Together Alone, Steven throws a party on Homeworld and you can see the 2 gems that make her up talking to each other, a blue jade and a yellow jade. But Steven accidentally fuses with Connie, spoiler alert, and the diamonds aren't happy about that. So then Garnet fuses and an Amethyst and Pearl fuse, and then they just randomly fuse and are like, I knew I couldn't be the only one. And then Yellow Diamond murders them. Like, I'm not even kidding, that actually is what happens. Like, gems don't die, but go and watch the episode, go watch the whole show and then you'll understand what I mean. But anyway, moving on to B tier, we have Zebra Jasper. Technically this one was done without consent, but it was with a corrupted gem, and corrupted gems are basically animals, which now makes me realize that this is kind of bestiality. But we're not getting into that. She only fused with them to try and beat Steven. I'm not going to spoil why yet. But because of that, she ended up, the corrupted Jasper ended up giving the other Jasper corruption because she passed it on to her for the fusion. So yeah, was it worth it? Probably not. I do like their design though. I just wish we got to see it a bit more, to be honest. I'm lumping these two together. Rhodonite and Fluorite. Because these two are in the same group. They're called the off colors. Basically, gems that Homeworld deems wrong and you know, horrible. So they kill them on sight. So they have to hide underground so that the diamonds don't find them. So Rhodonite's a fusion of a ruby and a pearl. And I just want to say one thing. Because, like I said, all fusions have multiple body parts, but with the exception of Rhodonite and Malachite, like, they're the only two double fusions, that's 2 gems, where they have 4 eyes and 4 arms, because usually double gems only have one or the other. Like, Garnet has 3 eyes, but 2 arms. So I think that's interesting. With Malachite, it makes sense, because they're, like, a toxic fusion, and they're not stable, but I just find it weird with Rhodonite. I feel like I would have just given her one or the other. I would have given her just the 4 arms and maybe just the 2 eyes, but that's fine. And Fluorite is a fusion of 6 gems, so she's the biggest fusion that we've had in the series so far. But she talks really slow because of it. And I'm not gonna lie, they're both kind of annoying. I like them, but I'm glad that they're not main characters, because they would have gotten really annoying fast. So yeah. Anyway, oh, a controversial one again. This is Steg. He's a fusion of Steven and his dad. So a lot of people think that fusion means sex. It doesn't, by the way. It just means relationships. It can mean any kind of relationship. And Steg represents a father and son relationship. Not that kind of relationship, you sicko. That says a lot about you than Rebecca Sugar. But anyway, I think they're cool. I really love the fact that their guitars fuse as well. That was a neat detail. I don't know where Greg's beard went though, because I feel like that should have stayed, or even stayed as stubble. And then I don't understand where the muscles came from, because, not to be rude, but Steven and Greg aren't exactly the healthiest people. I also wonder what their hair would look like now since Greg's cut his hair. But moving on, we have Rainbow Quartz, the fusion of Rose and Pearl. So the fusion dance for this one, because gems have to dance to fuse, the fusion dance for them was censored because it was too sexual, and it's literally just a twirl. Like, God's sake, what is wrong with you? Like, leave it alone, please. Stop trying to censor everything. I didn't see anything wrong with it. Especially since another fusion dance that we'll get to. But yeah, they only fused because they were recording a music video, and Pearl wanted to, show off to Greg, because Greg can't fuse, but she can, because they're both in love with Rose. Because Rose is Steven's mom, by the way, and then Greg, you know, is in love with her, and so is Pearl. And you can't see it with this screenshot, but I did notice while I was watching clips for this that, when Rainbow Quartz looks at Greg, Pearl's eyes are on the top, and they look all smug to Greg, like, you know, like it's a gotcha moment, because she can fuse and he can't. But then Rose's eyes are on the bottom, and they look, you know, really happy, like, you know, Greg's gonna love this, isn't this cool? So I think that's quite a funny detail. But anyway, moving on, we have, Alexandrite, yeah. So she's the fusion of Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl. So a 4-way fusion. So it makes sense how she has multiple eyes and multiple arms. She has 6 arms, and I think she has, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eyes, yeah. She also has 2 mouths as well. She's got, like, this mouth, and you can see a little dinosaur mouth here. That's really cool. And her debut episode is one of the funniest episodes, because she has to pretend to be Steven's mum, but she's, like, 10 feet tall. So it's like, no one's buying that. So that's really funny. I like her design, though. Anyway, Stugolite. It's a fusion of Garnet and Amethyst, so she's a 3-way fusion. She's got 5 eyes, just because she's got that one, and then the other 4 are behind her sunglasses. She's also voiced by Nicki Minaj as well, which is why she doesn't really appear that often. She's made a couple of cameos, but she's only had 1 episode where she spoke, and that was in her debut episode. But she got a bit too aggressive and ended up not wanting to unfuse, because she liked being a fusion, so that got a bit, yeah, Pearl had to fight her. And also, I'm not mentioning her by name, but a certain YouTuber complained about her design, saying that it's racist that when Pearl fuses, all of the fusions are elegant, but when Garnet and Amethyst fuse, it looks like her. And I'm like, what did you expect? Like, Garnet and Amethyst aren't really elegant like Pearl, so I don't know what you expected there. You're making a problem out of nothing. Anyway, now in the A tier, we have Obsidian. Obsidian's the fusion of all of the crystal gems. So Garnet, Amethyst, Pearl, and Steven. And she is so cool. She has 10 arms. Her head is literally just magma. And she's also got 3 mouths, because she's got this one. And then this right here is a mouth. And then she's got her bottom mouth. So that's really cool. I like how her second head kind of works as a helmet as well. And her I never noticed this at first, but her whole hair is just the shape of Steven's hair. And also on one of her hands, Steven's shirt is on it, and I find that so funny, because obviously the shirt is, like, made of real materials. So yeah, and her weapon is a giant lava sword, and I love it, and it's so cool. I do kind of wish she appeared more often, because she doesn't even have a voice, so it's not like that's a problem. Anyway, next we have Opal. Not including Garnet, obviously. Opal was the first fusion we ever saw, and I love her design. She doesn't speak much because her voice actress is expensive, but she did get a song in the movie, so that was really cool. So yeah, again, she was the first fusion we got to see, and I just love her design. I love her color palette as well. It's all so cool. I do like her voice as well, though. It's just too bad we don't get to hear her often. She did have a role in a Steven Universe short about body positivity, though, which was really cool. I liked that. And her personality is that she's forgetful, which I don't really get, but hey ho. Anyway, now we have Smoky Quartz. I love them so much. I love how Steven's jacket is around their waist as well. That's really cool. I don't really get why they have 3 arms, though. I would have just given them, like, 2 or even 4, but I guess weird. I also, actually, I'm not going to say that. I love their hair as well, because it's in the shape of Steven's hair, but it's in the style of Amethyst's hair, so that's really cool. And their weapon is a yo-yo as well, and that is awesome. All of Steven's fusions weapons are really cool. They're, like, Steven's fusions are usually my favorite, with this one exception. But, hey-ho. Now we have the S tier. So first we have Stevani. This was Steven's first fusion with his friend Connie. They mean so much to me. They mean so much to everyone, because they were one of the first non-binary characters in, like, anything, so that was awesome. They're also intersex, because obviously they're a fusion of a boy and a girl. It'd be weird if they weren't intersex. And I really love the fact that their clothes are always just a fusion of Steven and Connie's clothes. That's really cool. So yeah, they're also like mostly human and like only 25% gem. Or, yeah. I just love them, and they have a beautiful singing voice as well. I think I hope, I don't remember where I ranked them in the Steven Universe singers, but I think I ranked them high, because their song is one of the best songs in the series. But anyway, Sardonyx, the fusion of Garnet and Pearl. She is awesome. Like, she's one of the fusions with the biggest personalities. Like, she, as you can see, she kind of represents like a showman, well, a showwoman, and it's really cool. She does look more like a fusion of Garnet and Peridot, though, but that's a design choice. And I love the fact that her body can rotate 360 degrees. So can Alexandrite, obviously, because Sardonyx is technically part of Alexandrite, and her weapon's a big warhammer, which I love as well. So yeah, everything about Sardonyx is awesome. Although, I had to Google what Sardonyx gems look like, and they're actually not gems, so that was an interesting choice as well. I do like her, though. And she also, this was foreshadowing, because, spoilers, Rose is Pink Diamond, and, Pearl was her Pearl, obviously. So she has pink diamonds on her shoes, it's foreshadowing, so I like that. But my favorite fusion is Rainbow Quartz 2.0, the fusion of Steven and Pearl, not Rose. And this is the first gem that goes by he, him pronouns. Technically he, they, but you know what I mean. He is so cool. I love him. He's one of the few gems that's voiced by a male actor as well, because there's, including Steven, there's only 4. But yeah, I love him. I love him so much. I love the fact that he's wearing Steven's jacket as well. And at first I didn't, because it didn't really make sense to his personality, but now I changed my mind and I love it. And obviously, since he's a Rainbow Quartz, his power is rainbows. His weapon is a freaking umbrella. How awesome is that? He's basically Mary Poppins, but if Mary Poppins was a gay man, and I love that so much. Like, he's only had, like, not even, he's never even had a whole episode. He's only had, like, a collection of 5-minute screen time, and he's left a big impression on me like this. Like, wow. And as you can see, just like the original Rainbow Quartz, he does have 4 eyes, and he's, like, so cool. I love him so much. I don't really like his hairstyle that much. I feel like it could have looked more like Steven's hair, but I'm alright with that. But anyway, that's my ranking of all the gem fusions. Let me know who your favorite fusion is. Even if it's one of the same gem fusions or Steven, let me know. And please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!